Today we'll be reading a story called Little Blue Truck by Alice Shirtle and illustrated by Jill McElmurray. And this story goes along with our theme this week, which is farm animals. And this book goes along with farm animals because, as you see on the cover, many of the characters in our story are farm animals. Alright, during this story, I want you to think about 4 things. The first thing I want you to think about is the star. And the star in the story is the main character, or the person that occurs the most. So it's not going to be every character, but the main person that you see during the story that the story is mostly about. The second thing you're going to think about is the globe, which stands for the setting, and that's where the story takes place. Think about it this way. Where in the globe or the world is this story taking place? The third thing you're going to think about is represented by a magnifying glass, and you're going to look to see what the problem is in the story. So where do the characters encounter a problem that they have to solve? And then the fourth thing is represented by a toolbox, and this is going to be the solution to that problem. What do they do to solve the problem? And then after we get done with all those 4 things, we're going to make a story map at the end of our story. Now, the read aloud that we have today is going to have some music. It's going to have some sound effects brought to you by an app called Novel Effect, which Coach Shipman showed pre-K to show to you guys. So you're going to hear a lot of sounds and stuff, so this story is going to be very fun, and it's called The Little Blue Truck.
Horn went beep, engine purred, friendliest sounds you ever heard. Little Blue Truck came down the road. Beep, said Blue to a big green toad. Toad said croak and winked an eye when Little Blue Truck went rolling by. Sheep said baa. Cow said moo. Oink, said a piggy. Beep, said Blue. Cluck, said a chicken. And her chick said peep. Ma, said a goat. Blue said beep. Neigh, said a horse. Quack, said a duck. Beep, said the friendly Little Blue Truck. Honk, yelled a dump truck. Coming through. I've got big important things to do. I haven't got time to pass the day with every duck along the way. Vroom, went the dump. Around a curve, he saw a puddle, and he tried to swerve. Into the mud rolled the big fat truck, and his big important wheels got stuck. His heavy-duty dump truck tires were sunk down deep in muck and mire. Honk! Cried the dump, and he sounded scared, but nobody heard, or nobody cared. Then, into the mud, bump, 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 came the Little Blue Truck to help the dump. Little Blue pushed with all his might. Now Blue and the dump were both stuck tight. Help, 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 cried the Little Blue Truck. Beep, 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 I'm stuck, I'm stuck. Everybody heard that beep, beep, beep. The cow came running with the pig and the sheep. Up at a gallop ran the big brown horse. Goat jumped over the fence, of course. The hen came flapping with the chick and the duck, and everybody pushed the little blue truck. Head to head and rump to rump, they all pushed Blue, who pushed the dump. They couldn't quite budge that heavy load. Then who hopped up but the big green toad? All together. 1, 2, 3. One last push and the trucks were free. Thanks, little brother, said Dump to Blue. You helped me and they helped you. Now I see a lot depends on a helping hand from a few good friends. Beep, said Blue. Who wants a ride? Everybody scrambled to jump inside. Oink, quack, baa, moo, cluck, peep, neigh, croak, ma. Beep, beep, beep.
Alright, so we just finished our story called Little Blue Truck by Alice Shirtle, illustrated by Jill McElmurray, and now we're going to do our story map. So I went ahead and titled this piece of paper. It's called Little Blue Truck Story Map. And remember the 4 things I told you to think about during the story. The first thing I told you to think about was the star of the story, or the main character, and that's the person that occurred the most during the story and the person you heard about the most during the story. So sometimes you see this main character or the star of our story on the front cover of the page. Sometimes their name might be in the title, but you see them the most. So I want you to think about what character you saw in the little blue truck that occurred the most. And the star of our story, which was the main character, was the little blue truck. And I'm going to write his name right here. And I'm going to write it in capital because it is his name. So Little Blue Truck. So the star was Little Blue Truck. Now, the next thing you were told to think about was the globe, or the setting of the story. Where in the world did this story take place? And think about what kind of animals are right here if you can't think of where it was. Look at what kind of animals those are. That can give you a clue. All right, the setting of this story was, where do you see farm animals? On the farm. So we're going to write the farm. All right. Now, the third thing I told you to think about was represented by the magnifying glass, and that was the problem. So what happened in the story that caused a problem for the characters? So what happened to Little Blue Truck and his friends during the story that they had to do something to solve it? What was the problem? Think about it for a second and then I'll show you. All right, the problem actually occurred on this page. I'm going to go show it to you so you remember. You remember the dump, which was this truck, got stuck in some mud. And then right after he got stuck into the mud, somebody went to help. And that person was the Little Blue Truck. And then they both got stuck tight. So the problem in the story, we're going to write it right here. And we're going to start with a capital letter because we're going to write a sentence. So you start a sentence with a capital letter. So the T is capitalized. I'm going to capitalize Little Blue Truck because that's his name. Little Blue Truck. And the dump. And I'm going to capitalize the D in dump because that's the other truck's name. So we're going to write the Little Blue Truck and the dump got stuck in the mud. I'm going to write an arrow right there so you know it comes from the solution. So the problem in our story was the little blue truck and the dump got stuck in the mud. And then we're going to end it with a period. Now, the last thing I told you to think about was represented by a toolbox, and that is the solution to the story. How did the characters in the story, the little blue truck, solve the problem of the little blue truck and the dump being stuck in the mud? What did the characters do to solve that problem? Think about it for a minute, and then I'll tell you the answer. All right, the solution to the problem, and the problem was the little blue truck and the dump got stuck in the mud. The characters in the story solved this problem by, if you remember, the animals all came together to help the little blue truck and the dump get out of the mud. And you can go through these pages and see what happened, and then they got out of the mud. So we're going to write right here by our solution. We're going to write an arrow. I'm going to start again with a capital letter because we're going to write a sentence this time. We're going to start with the farm animals came to help the little blue truck and the dump. So the farm animals came to help the little blue truck and the dump to get out of the mud, period. So the farm animals came to help the little blue truck and the dump to get out of the mud. So we're going to go back over our whole story map. The star of our story was the little blue truck. The globe, or the setting of the story, was the farm. The problem in our story was the little blue truck and the dump got stuck in the mud. And the solution to the problem was the farm animals came to help the little blue truck and the dump to get out of the mud. And that is our story map, and I hope you enjoyed our story called The Little Blue Truck. And we'll see you next time for our next Read Aloud.